So welcome again. And this short video, we're going to concentrate on the length measurements. Again, this is usually something that we do not necessarily have the time to cover. So what I'm going to show you is the following. So imagine that you have a data that looks like this. So I go to EMBL, I go to sample data, and then I'm going to look for C elegans. All right, takes a second to load. And now let us imagine that you want to measure the length of this object, right? Which is not straight, it's curved. Now, of course, one easy way to do that is just to annotate and annotate by hand and then try to get the measurement of that linear annotation, right? But this will take you a lot of time if you have to measure hundreds of them. So how can we try to automate that a little bit? One of the things that you need to have already installed, not only the EMBL plugin, but also into plugins, you will need to have MorpholibJ. That's also on the slides, and you can find instructions in there. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is that we're going to take this image and we're going to get a segmentation out of it. So I'm going to do image duplication just in case, so we don't lose the raw data, so we can compare later on. Now that I have my duplicated image, I can now do image adjust threshold, right? I make sure that I'm thresholding the right object, and then I say apply. Okay, so now we have a nice idea of how the object looks like. Now, the next thing that I'm going to do, of course, is I'm going to try to smooth those edges out in case that there was some irregularities. And for that, I'm going to use the open operation. This is a morphological operation, binary open. Run that just in case. Okay. Now, the next thing is that I want to collapse this to the center line. I don't want to have it that thick, so the automation pipeline knows where to follow, right? And one of the ways to do this is by something which is called skeletonized. So I can go here and look for the skeletonized process binary skeletonized, and I run that, and you will see that now that image has been sort of collapsed to its center line, and in some places also to some branching points. All right. Now, what we can do afterwards is that now that I have that skeletonized image, just to make it a little bit smoother, I can come in here and I can run a dilation. Dilation. All right, just to make it a little bit thicker and a bit more obvious that we're going to do. Then the next thing that we're going to do is that we're going to run a command that is called geodesic. So diameter, which this is the explanation, okay, it comes from morpholibj, is trying to put a string through the center of an object, right? But now because the object is so thin, that should actually match very nicely the center of the original object. So now here I look for geodesic, and I have it available because I have morpholibj. I run that, and then I say, okay, I want it in this image, and I want to actually send things to the ROI manager, and I say, okay. Right? So now what you're seeing here is that you see this red line, right, that describes the geodesic signature, right, the diameter, and then I can go to my original C elegans, and I can, if this is my ROI manager, I can click on it just to show it, and you see how nicely that matches the center of the C elegans. Okay, now that we know that we have a nice match, then we can also go to the output data, and then you see what was the geometric diameter, and then from there you can calculate then your length. All right.